And let's get your chats up and running. DJ on Tuesday. No, it's wild for me too. Yeah, I had to drop my son off at school. I think it's like his last 2 days of school. So yeah. I thought he graduated. He's in kindergarten, so I don't know how they have graduations, but because just like the first year. All good though. Let's go to the SPY. Let's pull it up real quick. And we'll take a look at what is happening in the overall market. Honestly, there's a whole bunch of nothing at this point. I know Maloney did post she's looking at Meta. I was watching Meta too for the hourly chart, so that one looks decent. I'm gonna be looking for the head and shoulders. We'll dive deeper into that, but right now, as far as the SPY goes, just in terms of yeah, there is Coinbase too. Coinbase, Mara, Riot, probably. I didn't check Riot, but Mara for sure is taking a dip. Coin, so there's a lot of SEC news about classifying Coinbase as an exchange and direct involvement in investments, and that's going to be a whole legal battle for sure. But we'll see what comes out of it. I don't know if I'm not going to probably try to play a reversal on Mara. I'm not going to try to do it on Coinbase. So if we get any rips, I'm going to be looking to short anything in that stuff, just at least until some of the news blows over. But yeah, right now, SPY, what I would be watching for is there's a lot of room. I mean, I think there's a lot of room. I mean, our first stop, if we do continue to sell, would be about 425.36. That's going to be our last hope for some of the bulls until we could get a bigger pullback. Otherwise, we start getting into zones where we don't have anything. Like there's still some, and again, in here you're going to get a little chop back and forth. But realistically, all our volume is here. All of our volume is here, and the fact that we're opening kind of down here, it's still at that spot where it's like, okay, can the bulls survive? Can they hang in there? Again, I don't think this is bearish market. I think we're still in a very much bullish market. We got kind of close to those targets, didn't quite hit them, but we ran a lot. Right now, at least we are opening a little bit under. So yesterday it wasn't an inside day because we did break out, but the bears came in, slapped it right back down. We did close inside. And I think we get some continuation to the next VPOC, at least, is 421.84. So again, probably 425 today, somewhere in that zone, I think is where we probably get to, and maybe look for some intraday bounces. Otherwise, I'd be watching for this 421.94 for a longer term, kind of close at least this gap up, get a little bit closer to some of those moving averages, and then we start to move. Gertline, what is happening? Good morning to you. Let's check out the Qs real quick. So DOS Qs, we've got very similar kind of to the SPY. Again, we did have a little reversal signal yesterday. We made new highs. That fell down on us. That came down, and yeah, we're below the. This is the one I don't like. I don't mind so much that we're below yesterday's VPOC because it could be a little pullback, but now you are trapping 2 days of relatively high volume. I kind of want to get some puts on the Qs. Throwing that out there. We got Thomas in YouTube land. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning. Rado, did I say that correct? Good morning to you in YouTube land as well. Let's take a look at Coinbase, since that one is something that is moving pre-market. That's a pretty significant gap down. Let me flip this over to a monthly real quick, because I think we're going to be starting to approach some of those monthly lows. Yep, so this is last month. And we are hanging on to the last month's entire bullish rally. We did have a bullish engulfing candle from, what is this, back in January? And if we were to retest that, 4609 would be my retest spot. Doesn't mean it has to hit that and bounce perfectly, but if I was looking for a long opportunity, And again, I think there's a lot going on in Coinbase right now where from a long-term perspective, Bitcoin hasn't been around enough to say, yeah, this is a really good company and they're going to be around for the next 10 years. I don't know. Right. So long-term basis, I'm not sure. But if I did like the company and everything fit the criteria, I'd probably be looking for start to build a position around 4609, somewhere in that zone. So this is not a great gap at all, considering we're about to break down, but we do have about still, well, from this point, it's already still dropping about $2.60 roughly. So there's a little bit more room. Again, if this thing does get bought up, it is, I believe, no, they got hit yesterday too. Yeah, so this is a retest gap. Lots of volume yesterday. Probably some people might want to take some profits. If that's the case, for me personally, I'm going to let it run up and then look to take a short. Does it get bought up? I don't know. There's still a lot going on with this company. And it's not so much Coinbase. It is Coinbase, but it's the crypto space, I guess, is a better definition. If they work out everything and SEC's like, okay, good to go, you'll probably see an incredible rip on Coinbase, but it's going to be some time in the future. So I don't think we have anything really coming up yet to really watch for. Mara would be another one that's crypto related. So crypto got a little bit of support to hang into. This is technically a retest gap, so I would imagine you probably could get bought up off of this. We've been in this channel for a while, where this is kind of the lows. Every time we got down here, we bounced, and then we made some crazy bullish moves. That ends up fading back down. Riot would be the other one to watch if you're going to play this space, but this would be a little bit more of a significant gap than I think more. And if Riot's able to come down and really break where that pivot was, so this chart looks very similar to Mara. You're at a nice whole $10 psychological number right now, but we are breaking down a lot of those key levels. Probably target on this one could get us to about 927. And I'm trying to think if we want to short something in the space besides Coinbase, would we go with Riot, or is this a little predictor of what is potentially able to happen with Mara? Mara would have a little bit more juice to squeeze. But I'm not opposed to this one too. And you still got the 10 EMA down. So, I mean, potentially, yeah, this 927 looks decent. 927 takes you into the 10, takes you into some moving averages, probable bounce spot. Maybe we get a little extra out of it. That's 911, but yep, would be an interesting move. Again, this is a retest gap, so being the first one to buy it out of the gate, I don't want to be that person, but if it does bounce, I will have it on my list to watch for today as well. PLNT. So this would be a little gap and go for Planet Fitness, $10 a month. Interesting recession play too, if we do hit recessions. But you obviously had some buying coming in here. We retested that. We're gapping above that. This looks interesting. Targets would be an issue. I mean, I'd have to say we probably hit a little bit of hesitation somewhere around 67.94. That's not going to give us too much room to the higher side. Big old gap to fill. We got all about main key volume. I like this candle a lot. If we were able to get in here for a swing yesterday, which obviously I did not, I'm just gonna put this on the list. If we can really start breaking some of these levels, I mean, primarily if we get above 69.21, that's gonna give us a lot of strength. Planet Fitness, do they have a big PLNC short float? No, nothing crazy in the short float, so we're not going to get that additional boost. I'm trying to figure out what could get us above some of those, get that moving average coming in. Two good hammers. That is still a decent amount of buying coming into this candle, even though it is red. All right, we're gonna add this one to the list. We'll see what happens. It could get fun. We'll slide this up. All right. And Shopify, SHOP. Oh, if we still have that. Oh yeah, this we were talking about this one in the afternoon room, so wouldn't have come down to test this yet, but good little gap up on Shop. I do like it bullish. Obviously, this one should be a retest gap. We got a little bit of resistance, probably somewhere around 62.70. If not, I think it could probably hit $63 today. So if you do want to play this thing bullish and you're quick out of the gate, try to take some early morning risk. You do have about probably 80 cents, something in this thing. Otherwise, see we get a pullback. Look for 61.66 would be my first spot of maybe we get some kind of a bounce. It doesn't have to retest all the way down to $6 or even come to the high of yesterday at $6.88. This thing has been on quite the journey though, right? So there's a lot of people in this thing that are making money as these things gap up, and we do have a retest gap from yesterday. So let it fall a little bit. At least that's going to be my plan. We'll throw this one up kind of higher on the list as well. And we'll see what kind of goodness comes from this one. But yeah, if this one pulls back, it's probably still by the dip. The thing that we liked yesterday when we were looking at this thing, and I forget who it was. I think Alex. He was asking, what about a swing trade for Shop? And we're trying to figure out where to buy this thing. So I know he threw out a number like, hey, maybe $50. The only problem with that, and it could be a decent place. It's just it's got to be a different setup. What I'm looking for, honestly, to hold is that we have this pennant pattern. See if we get some kind of a retest now that we did break out yesterday, technically with the close. If this thing comes back, I think that's decent. And then probably in a day or two, we could have a decent, at least come in for a double top or something like that. But for this point, I think this one probably ends up fading a little bit lower for right now. Thomas wants to look at Target. If you guys have other tickers that you want to take a look at, let me know. Throw it in the chat panes, and we'll see what else is popping for today. Target pre-market, we were gapping down slightly from the close. Still kind of in this mess. I think the play is like, I don't know if you're looking for reversals or for this thing to sink. In all honesty, I think this thing could potentially come a little bit lower. This is a lot of selling. It's Target. They're going to be around in 10 years. So there is going to have some kind of value price on this thing where it doesn't matter what politics you're into or whatever. I mean, there's a good investment's a good investment. I think it's still a little bit too high. I think this one could come down a little bit further. If you're really looking for like, hey, when does this thing turn around? I'd watch Bud Light, to be honest. And if Bud Light starts to at least settle down and flatten out, that's probably your time to move in on Target, realistically. Wait for like all the news cycles and everything to just kind of die down somewhere. And I don't think we're there yet. But yeah, kind of just inside. I don't know if for today we see anything. If anything, I'd probably continue this thing bearish, but we'd have to get through we'd probably have to get through this 130.25. After that big massive run, we're pretty extended off of every single moving average. So probably could hang out in this range more than anything. And there could be some kind of a balance at some point, but this thing could hang out somewhere down here, allow some of those moving averages to catch up to it, just kind of push down. And then that would probably give us our next potential level to break. Otherwise, this is a lot of selling. We've only really had 2 bullish days in a row of green candles. And then yesterday was actually a gap and go. Was it a gap and go? We definitely broke down at least one of those bullish days. So that's telling me there's not really the craziest bullish sentiment yet. And it's just really, can we break 130.22? I think would be my spot. So if it could break that, yeah, this thing still has some more room to drop a little bit. All right, let's see. MRVL. Marvel. I think Marvel has a big short float for some reason. If I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let's find out. But I think that was the move that we already had. Let's see. MRVL. Now 3.4. All right. So they have the big massive gap up. We are starting to get under this. We're under all the VPOCs. I want to short Marvel. We have all of that volume right above us. It's probably a decent short. Could get down to 53.95. Where would that take us to? 53.95, I think, is a doable spot to hit. I don't know about today. We would have to break to that 10 EMA. And that would give us targets to about 589, somewhere in that zone. Let's add Marvel pretty high to the list. We'll see if short is decent there. And then we got AI as well. For right now, it's resting. Yeah, we're at a key spot. Good bullish engulfing candle yesterday. We are opening, at least to this point, at a little bit of resistance. So if we get rejected off that resistance, I'd be looking to buy. Potentially, this looks all like wave 3, 4. This is probably some type of wave 5. We do got untested VPOCs sitting somewhere around 39.13. So that would be my target if we do break higher than this. But my buy spot would have to be somewhere close to like 34, 35. I would love to get my stops, regardless of where I buy. I would love to get my stops somewhere probably under 31.87 or around 31.87. So the lower I could buy this thing, the better. That might give me about roughly $2 and let's call it 60 cents. So for 2 hours, I need about 520. It would be close, probably about an hour and a half if I have my stops that low. So let's push AI up a little bit, just see if there's a pullback. It's not really a gap or anything today. So I think we're not going to get that additional momentum, and it is opening at a slight little resistance. So I would expect a little pullback. And for right now, it still looks like buy the dip. Yep, coin we looked at, but we'll take a look again. So Coinbase. I'm not looking to buy Coinbase. I'm looking to short Coinbase today. This thing is kind of hanging into the monthly lows. Probably a decent spot for some people to try to buy. But more importantly, for those people who are selling, I would assume those people selling, that's a good spot for them to take their profit. So I think Coinbase would be, if we want to play a fade on it, that would be possible. But I think our better move would be to short this thing. And we might have to wait a little bit. I'm a little scared just to go long on Coinbase. That's just me. It has a lot of room for the retest. I don't think, and we've seen some weird things. We've seen it with was it Cisco Systems, I believe. We saw it with maybe even with Home Depot, but a couple of these guys that opened up down here below all of these different key levels ended up with almost a bullish engulfing candle from the day before. So the market's capable of doing some wild things. I don't know if we could do wild things and even get back to this 58. Normally, in a normal market, I'd probably be looking for, hey, what happens around 49, 47? Is it going to break that? Can we go short from there? That would be a good, decent spot, or maybe even 51.10. But it's down a lot. There was a huge amount of volume coming in yesterday, and the company still has lots of problems. This is not a huge gap down just because one quarter's earnings missed. It's not a solid company where, I mean, the company might be okay, but it's not a solid company where we don't know if Bitcoin goes away in the next 3 years. I don't know where that leaves Coinbase. The other sympathy play, maybe because Square does have a lot of exposure to Square has a lot of exposure to crypto as well. I don't know, maybe PayPal does too, but I know for sure Square does. So in a weird sympathy play to coin short, Square's obviously had some issues of their own, and that might be a decent one. We have a little bit of support. Do we? We're opening kind of at a little bit of resistance from back here. I don't really see much in the way of this short till probably 62.10. And then after that, we could probably even see maybe levels of like 61.60. So that could be decent. I'm actually going to push Square up a little bit too, just in case there's a little bit of a relationship. Jay says CBRL. This is another one, but this one's definitely opening at some kind of decent support. I mean, there's your support. That was your resistance. That became your support. So we're heavy into a good support zone on this one. What is this? Oh, Cracker Barrel? This is an earnings miss. I don't think I've ever been to a Cracker Barrel. I don't know if that's like acceptable or not, but I'm pretty sure I don't think I've ever been there. Yep. So missed on revenue, missed on earnings per share. So this one is a. Do they pay dividends? So at least as of I think yesterday it was 5.34%. So that dividend's going to get jacked up, but these guys missed pretty heavily. Could come down a little bit further. So if you could get down to like 88, 89, that would be a decent spot to attempt it. If you do want to try this thing long, otherwise we're at a pretty key support. So I'm not too sure where we're going to go from there. Let's add it to the list though. There's not a lot of things really gapping today. I mean, there's a few gaps, but overall the market's quiet. I think Emily posted in Slack earlier that like, there's no meetings, there's not like everyone's on vacation, I guess. I don't know. Everybody went on a plane with Maloney to India. All right, let's take a look real quick at TAP, TAP. Yeah, energy, Lauren, I think that would be a decent short as well. Just trying to play some continuation. We'll see if we should be able to get to that one too, but I think XOM, CVX could still have some issues. Not really issues, just OPEC. It's been bought up hard. TAP could be interesting. Again, this is a big run up into it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of people buying, and then you're going to gap up, not quite into highs from the at least this year 52-week highs, but pretty close to it. I would say I do like that we are above all those VPOCs, but I'd have to wait on this one. This one could get Molson. Let's see. I don't think there's a crazy short float on this one. Just want to, if it is, then yeah, maybe some more continuation. 4.5 now, so nothing too crazy there. That's a lot of buying. I'd have to give this some time. My guess is you get the initial pop out of the gate, and then that pop is fadeable. Let's throw this on the list too. Get it on up. And then THOXOM. Yep, Cracker Barrel we just looked at. THO. That's kind of interesting. Thor Industries. THO. 11% short float. This is probably my number one. I don't know what the volume's like in this thing, but that is definitely breaking out of a big, just sideways chop for, I mean, it looks like months. Where could resistance be on this thing? This one might be my favorite one. 11% short float, pretty decent. We're above all that volume. Next little spot we're gonna have to deal with probably about 88.57. Past that, I don't see a lot till 91, and you do have a huge short float on this thing. So, and it's also a gap and go. So Thor would be my homeboy today, I think. All right, we got XOM. Take a trip to Kohl's and Cracker Barrel. Live a little. Kohl's needs revenue however they get it. I wouldn't be surprised if Kohl's opens a Cracker Barrel inside of it at this point. But they just need people to show up somehow. So they kill two birds with one stone. All right, we got ExxonMobil. So this one is again a retest gap. It is gapping down a little bit and at a little bit of support. This one I think fades higher and then probably look for some continuation. I think it has below $100 in the cards for XOM. Again, it just went on an absolute tear, so I'm going to keep Thor up there for now. Otherwise, I got 16 seconds left. You guys in YouTube land, you guys have been absolutely incredible. And make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and all the stuff that YouTube people like to do. Otherwise, be safe out there. It is Tuesday. Market seems a little slower. Not too many crazy gaps. Thor would be my favorite of the day, but let's see how it goes.